Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm going to talk about 3 plays in baseball that I really like. I have not done my batter props for the day yet. I'm still waiting for the guy to come through with those, but I will give those to you inside the free channel. So you go to the link in the description, click on free picks. Once you do that, you're going to be getting the picks inside your phone and your email, and I'll throw the batter props over there today. So make sure you go to the link in the description and then click on free picks. Once you do that, like I said, I'm going to give those out to you today for free. I'm going to give you 3 plays in baseball today. One of them I'm still waiting for, but I'll explain that once I get there. We had an 8-and-1 day yesterday. So it was an amazing day. We almost had a perfect day, except one of them was a push and then the other one was a loss. So I'll explain those when I get there, but let me just kind of quickly go through these, and I'm going to give you some information that I like. So the Yankees that hit for us, I shared that yesterday here on this live. I had this under Brandon Lockridge. I showed you all the list that I had, and I broke it all down. I went with this one person here, which is Brandon Lockridge. And I also said that I like the Cubs, but I was not sure on them yet, but I ended up taking them on the money line as a parlay piece. So that hit for us. We had the Oilers. We posted that inside the VIP only. So that hit for us. Aaron Judge, I shared here that he was very expensive because he had 4 hits the day before, but that hit. Austin Riley, he was too expensive and I couldn't find anybody else to parlay him with. So I took it with the Cubs again. Nico Horner, I explained him yesterday. The Mets, that was a close call. I did not expect them to be this close of a game because they did have Paul Skeens, which is the pitcher for the Pirates. What I was trying to say here is that it was a close game over here. They went all the way. I think they even went into extra innings. I can't be sure, but it was a close game. I do expect them to win today again. I'm going to give you the breakdown of why I think they're going to win again today. But yesterday I was watching the game actually, and there was a lot of mistakes. There was a lot of errors, and also, like I said, Paul Skeens shut them down the first 6 innings, and they still came back with the win. So having said all that, the Mets have a great chance today. The Braves, they did end up winning here. You can see they did win the game, but it was a push because I took the risk of a -1 instead of the money line, trying to get better odds, and I didn't win this one, but it was a push. So I didn't lose or win. And then Alec Bohm. So I shared a lot of those guys. I told you if you went and got the batter props, that I was going to hook you up for free. So that's exactly what I did. I think I had like 6 or 7 people sign up for the free plan yesterday, and they received those free picks for the props. And then I gave away 3 of them here. So let me just get right into it, guys. I do like the Cubs today. So I'm going to give you some information here for the Cubs. The first one is that they do have a slight edge because the pitching, it's saying here Beloso is stronger than Brown for the Cubs. However, the Cubs have one of the worst bullpens, or I wouldn't say the worst, but they do have a very bad bullpen. So you have to be careful with this as well. The Cubs are only 5-5 in the last 10 games. So they've only won 5 games in the last 10. So that they are in a little bit of a losing streak, but then the Marlins are actually a lot worse. You can see over here, they've only won 3 games in the last 10. So there's a slight lean also on top of that. There's a very slight lean on the OPS for the Marlins. What that means is that the Marlins get on base more than the Cubs. So, which is crazy because 2 weeks ago, the Cubs were number 1. So there's a lot of indications here that it's a slight lean. It's not heavy towards the Cubs, but I do like them for the first 5 innings because Beloso, again, is stronger than Brown. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking it at a -5 because I fear that the Cubs bullpen is shaky. So if you're going to take the Cubs, you want to take them on the first 5 innings, not the full game. All right, that's the first guy. That's the first one, guys. I'm going to hook you up with. Again, if you want the free stuff, go to the link in the description. I'm going to put up all my batter props today again, just like I did yesterday, and I'm going to give them to you for free. Go to the link in the description and click on free picks. All right, second one, guys, I'm going to go with the Mets. So for the Mets, I'm actually going to go with the full game, and I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to play this because it is very expensive. The Mets are heavily favored today, and they were heavily favored yesterday, but like I said, Paul Skeens was the difference because the Pirates, that is their best pitcher, but again, he's not playing today. Keller is. So if you look at the pitching staff, Zenga plays for the Mets, and he's a lot better than Keller, which plays for the Pirates. So it's heavy sharp money also is on the Mets, so the line is shifting towards the Mets as well. The Mets are 7-3 in the last 10 games, and then the Pirates are 2-8 in the last 10. So again, the OPS as well. Let me show you the OPS here. Give me a second. So this is important though. Look at this. If you look at the Mets right here for the OPS, which means that they get on base, they're number 3. They're tied for number 3 right here with the Angels, the Rangers, and the Mets. But if you look at the Pirates, so what this means is that they're very high up on the ladder to get on base. But look at the Pirates, they're number 27. So they're all the way at the bottom compared to the Mets, which are all pretty much all the way at the top. All right, so you compare that with the pitching as well. It's a clear indication that the Mets have the lean today for sure. And like I said, the Pirates are 2-8, and then the Mets are 7-3 overall. So again, Mets are top 5 to get on base percentage with a .827. You compare that with the dead last Pirates. So this is my strongest play on the board. I'm taking the Mets. So what you want to do, if you don't want to risk it, you can parlay the Mets money line. But I trust them enough. And like I said, they hit for us yesterday. Taking the Mets on the -1.5. There was a bunch of errors yesterday, and they still won the game. So if they can clean up the errors and they're not facing Skeens, they should be able to hit this pretty easily. So that's what I'm going with. That's the second pick that I'm hooking you guys up with. Make sure you get the free picks, guys. I'm going to be throwing in the batter props right inside the free picks. All right, final play, guys, is it's a little bit questionable, so you want to kind of do your own little research on this one if you want. The Rangers are supposed to win this one. The Rockies are just horrible. They are literally the worst team in baseball right now. We've been fading the Rockies pretty much for the last 2 weeks, and it's been hitting for us. So this one is, like I said, a little bit questionable. It's cautious. You got to just be careful with it. The Rangers, again, the pitching is better. The sharp money is coming in towards Texas. The Rangers are 5-5 in the last 10. However, if you look on the road, on the Rockies, they've only won 1 game in the last 10 games. On top of that, they're 1 game in 17 when they're on the road. So when they're on the road like they are today, they've only won 1 game in the last 18 games. The only issue here is that the Rockies have a much better on-base percentage than the Rangers. But again, you have to take into consideration that if you look at the Rockies' schedule, the Rockies have been playing at home for they played a lot of games at home recently, like the last 10 games. I think 7 of them were at home. So when they're playing in Colorado, they get a lot more hits. I talked about that in previous videos. But basically, you have to take that into consideration, that the reason they're getting on base so much is because they were playing in Colorado. And if anybody follows baseball, you know that they get a lot more hits in Colorado. So take that into consideration when you're looking at that sort of data. I am taking the Rangers on the money line only because of that batter situation I just told you. However, I have to wait to see what I can parlay it with. It's going to be probably one of the batter props, just like I showed you that I did for the Cubs yesterday. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. So that's my 2 plays that I'm giving you. It's the Mets money line and the Cubs first 5 innings money line. And then I'm taking the Mets at a -1.5. And I'm also going to take the Rangers money line, but I'm going to throw that together with a batter prop. If you haven't done so, make sure you go to the link in the description, click on free picks. Also go to YouTube, this little play button right here, and then click on subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's have another great day.